There are many ways to get audio from your mixer into your computer, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to send a line out of your mixer to go directly into a line input on your computer. Check it out! What's up? My name is Matthew Stratton, helping you create music and record audio. On this channel, I do setup videos, tutorials, and overviews just like this one. If you're new here, consider subscribing. So I got a question from somebody who had been recording their church band using their mixer and putting the line out of their mixer into their computer, but their computer had RCA jacks. And when they upgraded their computer, it didn't have those jacks. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can actually send a line out of your mixer using the direct line in on your computer. And I want to show you a couple ways to do that. So in front of me, I have the Behringer Q1202. Now this is the USB model, so that means you can send a line directly out USB into your computer. But let's pretend that this isn't the USB model and it's just a straight mixer. So there's a couple ways to get a line out of here. So one of the ways to do it is to use your RCA outs here. So this is a 2-track out. This might also be called record out or tape out, depending on your mixer. Now this is how these people were using their mixer. They were sending a line out of here and putting it into their computer. So I'm going to show you how to do that using this cable here. So I also want to show you how to use your main out as well, because you may not have the tape out. So let's go ahead and get into this. Now before we get into it completely, I do want to set up the microphone with the mixer and everything like that. So this is the microphone I want to use. This is the Shure Beta 58A, and it's just on this on-stage mic stand. I'm going to leave a link to whatever I'm using here in the description. So if you want to do more research about your situation, you could check out the description. I'll leave some links for this stuff. But let's go ahead and plug our microphone into the mixer. But before I do that, I want to turn the gain down on all the channels here. So this is going to be turned down here. And then I want to make sure the compressor's turned down. All the EQs are at 0. The effects are turned down. And then the pan's at center here. And then the level, I do want to put the level at 0 right here on here. Now, your mixer might have a level like this. All right, so it's the same difference. As long as it's set on 0, you're good. It might have a U, and U stands for unity. That's good as well. So my channel is at 0, and my main mix is at 0 as well. The next thing I'm going to do is plug the mic cable into the mic. And then plug the other end into the mixer. So now that everything's plugged in, I'm going to go ahead and power on the mixer by connecting the power cable. This particular mixer does not have a power switch. So as soon as I plug in the cable, it's going to power on. The next thing I want to do is plug this cable into the tape out. In this case, it's called 2-track out. So I want to plug this into the 2-track out. Now you can see there's 2 ends to this cable. There's a white end and a red end. I'm going to put the white end into right here where it's white, and then the red end right here to where it's red. So the white one's going to be left and the red one's going to be right. Then I'm going to take the other end of this cable and plug it directly into the computer. Now your computer might have a couple different options. My computer specifically has a blue port, and the blue port is line in. Your computer might have a microphone in, and the microphone in can also double as a line in as well. And usually when that is the case, when you plug it into that port, you're going to have to select line in when you plug it in. Now in my case, I'm going to use the blue input. Now in my case, when I plug that into the blue input, it says, which device did you plug in, line in, or side speaker out? I did plug a line in, so I'm going to select line in, press OK. Before I move forward, I do want to show you the Windows settings. Now down here, there's going to be a speaker. It says speaker/headphone. If you right click that, it says open sound settings. So I am using Windows 10. And then whenever I open the sound settings, it says sound, and then you get your outputs. And then down here, it says input. And then you can choose your input. Now, it already chose line in for me, which is good because that is what I have. Now you can go into your device properties here. And then there's also a sound control panel here. I am going to click that sound control panel just to show you what that is as well, because you might get access to this. Now up here it says playback and it says recording. So I'm going to click on recording, and right here it says line in. So this is going to be the line in that I plugged my mixer into. So everything's plugged in that regard. I do want to set the level of this microphone. So at this point, I am going to turn up the gain of the microphone, and I'm going to speak into the microphone. Now, as I speak in the microphone, I'm going to turn the gain up, and then you're going to see this light start to light up over on this side. Now you can see it says 20. 20 is lighting up. Eventually it's going to go into 0. Once it hits into 0, we're exactly where we want to be. All right, so notice when I'm talking into the microphone, we're about 0. Now every once in a while, if I get loud, it might touch 6 a little bit. But for the most part, we're right here in 0, and that's going to be a good level. And you'll notice on the screen, we are actually getting something in this area where it says test your microphone. There's a blue line that starts showing up, and it is showing up correctly. So we're good there. Now we can actually fine tune this if we go into either device properties here in the sound settings. We can test it, and then we can, set our gain right here. So if you want to put it a little lower, we can. And then the other way to do that, let's back out of that area. The other way to do that is to go into your line in properties right here, and then you can go to your levels and you can set your level right here as well. I'm going to close out of that. So there's how you adjust your levels inside of Windows. So I'm going to actually close out of that because the program that I'm going to use is called Audacity. So at this point, I'm going to open up Audacity. So Audacity has a few settings that we can use. The first thing we want to do is actually set our input. So right here, it's already set to line for us. So we're good to go in that regard. We can record mono or stereo, and then we can choose our output here. Now you'll notice a few things on the top here. We can monitor our input. So if I click that, I want to be able to monitor, and you can see we're coming in hot. That's way too hot. So if I start recording now, it's going to be clipping. Now over here, this is actually the playback level. We're not playing back anything. So that's why this meter's not doing anything. Now to the right of that, we have our recording volume. So what we got to do is really ramp this down to make the recording volume not clip. So now we're looking pretty good. So if you look now, I'm bringing this down pretty far, and we are actually around -18 when I talk into the microphone, somewhere around there. Now the thing with Audacity or any kind of recording software is you can increase the volume level if you're not happy with the volume level. You can do other different post-processing things, but that's beyond the scope of this tutorial. But the important thing to remember is you don't want this green to go into the red. If it's going up into the red up here, that means you're going to start to clip and it's going to be distorted. We do not want distortion. So now that we have the levels set in Audacity, let's do a test recording. This is a test recording inside of Audacity, and I'm using my Behringer Beta 57A, and I'm going directly into my mixer, and my mixer is going directly into my computer using line in. All right, so let's go ahead and listen back to that. This is a test recording inside of Audacity, and I'm using my Behringer Beta 57A, and I'm going directly into my mixer, and my mixer is going directly into my computer using line in. As you can hear, that didn't sound too bad. So let's go ahead and use an example of going out of the main outs on this mixer and going directly into the computer. So I went ahead and I unplugged the mixer. Okay, so I took this cable out. Now, what some people might try to do is use these little adapters with this cable. And I suppose you could do that. All right, and you just plug those into the main out. Now, what I'm going to show you is that there's actually cables specifically designed for this purpose. Okay, so, all right, so this cable is basically going to come out of your mixer using the 1/4 inch here. So these are 1/4 inch, and it's going to go into an 1/8 inch. And what this cable does is it combines these two into this one tip. Now this tip is going to go directly into the computer just like the other one did. And let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put this into the main out left, and then I'll put the red one into the main out right. And I'm going to take the 3.5mm jack, is also called 1/8 inch, and I'm going to put that into the computer. Again, I'm going to select the line in. Now everything's already set up in Audacity for us. So if we click to monitor, what we can do is monitor our inputs, and you can see our inputs are already set up. I'm already hitting about -18. We want to be average around -18. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push record and do a test recording and see how well this comes out compared to the tape line out. This is a test recording of the main outputs that are going directly into the computer. I'm talking into the Shure Beta 58A, and this is a dynamic microphone, and we do not need the 48 volt phantom power. Let's go ahead and listen to this back. All right, so I'm going to put my headphones on so I can hear this. This is a test recording of the main outputs that are going directly into the computer. I'm talking into the Shure Beta 58A, and this is a dynamic microphone, and we do not need the 48 volt phantom power. Let's go ahead and listen to this back. So that worked very good as well. We got nice clear audio using this mixer here. Now I'm using this mixer because this is what I have available to me. You might be using something different, and that might work for you. But if you want to figure out how to connect your mixer into a USB interface, I'll do a video about that next. So go ahead and click or tap the screen over here. I'll put that video there whenever I do record and come out with that video. My name is Matthew. Continue creating music, and we'll talk soon.